A family in BC is mourning the loss of a daughter, and thousands of people are responding to her heartbreaking message about bullying. Amanda Todd told the world her story using flashcards in an online video that is going viral. About a month later, she committed suicide. The RCMP is now investigating. And what happened to Amanda has sparked new talk about bullying and about depression, teen suicide, and also how to prevent it. Our next guest knows all about bullying and the harassment many kids face at school. Cynthia Lowen co-produced the U.S. documentary Bully. She followed families of bullied children for about a year, and she joins me live from New York. Cynthia, I wish we were talking about something more uplifting, but this is such an important, such an emotional topic. When you heard about Amanda's story, what went through your heart and your head?
I mean, I think the thing that is just so shocking is the extent of the cruelty of the kids who are bullying her. You know, even beyond after the point that she had taken her own life, this bullying continued to occur online. And I think that's something that is shocking, because I think you want to believe that it's not possible that kids can be so cruel and have so little understanding for the impact of their behavior on individuals like Amanda.
And what does that behavior?
Absolutely heartbreaking.
What does that behavior say to you?
You know, I think that we really need to work on building empathy and understanding in kids in our communities starting from a very early age. I think that when we have adolescents who are going through this time in their lives where peers are becoming more influential and having more influence than parents at that point in life, I think we need to make sure they have a really good grounding in values, so that when they get to that point where maybe their peers are saying, you know, let's pass along this picture of this individual online, let's post these comments, that we can trust our kids to be in those situations and say, that is not how I was raised, I know that that's wrong, and I'm not going to participate, and I'm going to get help and make sure it stops, and reach out to the young person who's being targeted and make sure that they're okay.
You know, nice message. The question is, how do we get that message into the hearts and minds of the kids who are in schools? But I want to ask you about your project, because you spent time with 5 families for over about a course of a year, focused on bullying. Mm-hmm. What did you find out?
We worked with 5 incredibly powerful and courageous kids and families over the course of that year. And I think that what we really saw was an incredible amount of hope. I think each of the 5 families in the film have gone through terribly difficult situations. 2 of the families lost their own children to bullying, and something that every single person who's in the film is committed to is saying, we need to get these stories out, we need our voices to be heard, because we need to build a movement where there are more people who are willing to stand up than there are people who are willing to stand by. And I think that that was something that we really took from working with every single one of those kids and families. And Cynthia, there were 5 kids and families we worked with. You know, 13 million kids go through this in the U.S. every year.
And Cynthia, when you were filming Bully, cyberbullying wasn't as prevalent. How has that changed the dynamics?
You know, in the case of the kids and families that we worked with, cyberbullying wasn't a huge component. But I think that something that Amanda herself expressed was this feeling that everyone was against her. And I think why cyberbullying can be so traumatizing is that you don't necessarily know where it's coming from. You don't know how many people are participating. It could be 5, it could be 100. And I think that sense that there's no safe place to go, that paranoia and the panic that you have about going out, being around people and not knowing who's part of your bullying can feel like it is absolutely insurmountable.
Final question for you, Cynthia. Do you think you can tackle this with just rules? I mean, some people say we can't legislate morality, we can't legislate heart, we can't legislate empathy, but do you think rules are what's needed here?
You know, I don't think it's a matter of rules, but I think it's a matter of providing peer mentors, providing friends. I think that what kids at that point in their lives want more than anything, like all of us, we want friends. And I think had we been able to say, let's find 5 safe kids in that school who will sit with you at lunch, who will start to tip the balance away from feeling like everyone's against you to knowing that you have a safe place, is what we can do. It doesn't cost anything, but it involves enrolling kids who are young, who are potential leaders, educating them about bullying and saying, will you take the lead in our schools to help us build a kinder culture?
Cynthia, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Cynthia Lowen in New York.